Hi, hello. Today I want to talk about my favorite expansion pack, and it's actually the very first expansion pack for the Sims franchise, released in the year 2000. It's The Sims Living Large, or Living It Up as it was called in the UK. It is, like I said, the very first expansion pack, and contrary to all the other expansion packs that came later, this pack doesn't really have a theme, which kind of makes it unique. This pack is just an addition to every single aspect of the game. I think we can all agree that the Sims base game was kind of dry. Every single day was the same. There wasn't a whole lot to do for your Sims, and this expansion pack adds lots and lots of gameplay. This game is actually the source of a whole lot of things that we now consider as core to The Sims. A lot of features like the Grim Reaper, Woohoo, and a whole lot of other things that I'll show you in this video. Starting off revolutionary, we went from one neighborhood with 10 lots to 5 neighborhoods. There were 4 additional neighborhoods. Neighborhood 2 was actually built in. There are 3 houses, one sort of medieval type of castle, a more modern house, and a house that is one of my favorite places in this entire game. It's the House of the Meshuggahs. If you played this game, you undoubtedly know this house. This is the octagonal pink house with Frankie and Sylvia Marie Meshuggah. Frankie is in the extreme career, and Sylvia Marie is actually a psychic phone friend. They have lots of flamingos in the gardens, and the interiors are wildly decorated with tacky animal patterns and bright colours, which I live for, honestly. This was one of my favorite families when I was younger. With regards to Create a Sim and Build and Buy, this pack focuses on 4 themes. There is one sort of medieval Tudor style kind of theme. There's a sort of tacky Roman palace, kind of casino almost vibe themes. Then there's a more tacky 70s kind of animal print lovely theme. This is personally my favorite. And then lastly, there's a couple futuristic items which work really good for supposedly modern builds in The Sims 1. In Create a Sim, we can therefore see some medieval dresses, some armors, there are some dancing costumes, there are lots of animal prints. Animal prints and animals are really a theme in this pack, but also some futuristic kind of space-themed outfits. In my opinion, these themes come best alive in the builds. I love actually mixing up these styles. I love taking some of the Vegas Roman elements and adding lots of tacky furniture in there because I kind of envision these rich people living in this really tacky house. I love the futuristic stuff combined with the 70s stuff. It gives this kind of like what they thought was the future back then. I love the medieval castle as well, just because you can kind of tweak it and you can actually make cottages, because who needs cottage living in The Sims 4? These beautiful new houses are now the backdrop to lots and lots of gameplay options. There are so many objects in this pack that I want to go through, starting with one of my favorites, and it's actually the magic lamp. Yes, the one that was later introduced in Free Time and came back in The Sims 3 as well. The genie from the magic lamp was first introduced in The Sims Living Large, and can I tell you, this genie is a monster. The chances of your house catching fire or you losing a bunch of good friends are really, really high if you ever think about robbing this lamp. There's a voodoo doll, which obviously returns in The Sims 4 with the mischief skill, but this time you can use it on level 1, no skills required. You can use it on anyone in the household, and if they're in the same room and they see you use it, they will come and slap you. Another one of the most iconic features of The Sims, especially The Sims 2, the telescope. And for those of you who didn't know, The Sims Living Large actually had alien abductions in the game. Some scary music plays and your Sims slowly get sucked up into the air, but they disappear for a couple of hours and then they return with a completely reversed personality. Funnily enough, they really looked at the details, because when your Sim comes back to Earth, their household members will actually come up and talk to them about space, about aliens, and about UFOs. It's really cool to see. There's a crystal ball that actually gives these little pop-up screens, and if you manage to figure out what this little riddle means, it might actually change your personality. And then there's the science table, which I think is one of the objects with the most gameplay related to it in the sense of consequences. Your Sims will gain logic skills and make all kinds of different potions. Lots of them will just change their mood or behavior, but some of them do some really funky stuff. Your Sims can turn invisible, turn into a monster, or as happened to me, actually get an evil clone. If your Sims aren't very careful, the science table may actually explode. There's a new workbench where your Sims can up their mechanical skills and craft gnomes, and there is a slotting machine where your Sims can put in 10 or 100 simoleons and win or lose, of course. Last but not least, when it comes to the items and gameplay, the iconic love bed. This is one that we've had in The Sims 1, The Sims 2 Apartment Live returned it, in The Sims 3 it was actually given as a freebie, and in The Sims 4 we're still waiting for it. This bed introduced a feature for your Sims to play in bed, the precedent for the well-known woohoo. And if you did this often enough with your Sims, you could actually get the pop-up to ask if you wanted a baby. This baby you'll have to feed, take care of, cuddle, and within 72 hours it will grow up to be a child, where it will forever stay a child because that's how The Sims 1 works. The Sims 1 also doesn't have any genetic system, so the baby probably won't look like your Sim parents at all. This pack also introduced a whole lot of well-known NPCs throughout the series. First of all, the servo that came back in Open for Business in The Sims 2 and later in The Sims 3 and 4 as well. This is the first expansion pack. It's an item that you buy in the Build Buy catalog and you can just turn it on and it autonomously starts doing chores around the house, or you can ask it to make food for you. If you put a Christmas tree and a plate of cookies in your house and get your Sims to be in bed before midnight, you have a big chance that Santa Claus will visit you at night. He will leave a couple of packages, actually presents from the Build Buy catalog, and your Sims when they wake up will start opening these gifts autonomously as well. Now for the one that I already mentioned at the beginning of this video, the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper was also introduced with Living Large. This was not in the base game. This is something that I always perceived to be at the heart of The Sims, to have the Grim Reaper there, but it's actually an expansion pack feature. The Grim Reaper, as you know, comes whenever a Sim dies on your lot, whatever death. There's actually an option for your Sim to plea for their fellow Sims' lives. There's 3 outcomes from this plea. First of all, the Grim Reaper might just tell your Sim to walk off because he's not in a good mood. Or second, he might give you the chance to play rock, paper, scissors against him. If your Sim wins, your Sim will be resurrected and not die. However, if you lose, but the Grim Reaper is actually in a good mood, he might bring your Sim back as a zombie. Your Sim will be green, but won't actually have any special traits and just behave like a normal Sim. The only thing that's changed is that they've lost all of their personality points. And if at a later stage, if you have Unleashed installed, you can also have pet zombies. And then an NPC that we've quite recently gotten added to The Sims 4, it is the Tragic Clown. It works exactly the same. You just hang up a painting, and if your Sim gets into a bad mood, a Tragic Clown may appear. He doesn't like any interactions really. You can try whatever you want, but if you try to be nice, he doesn't respond to it, and if you're mean, he just cries. He's kind of just there, really sad, and the only ways to get rid of him is either to get your Sims back into a good mood or burn the painting. The pack also introduces 5 new career paths: slacker, journalism, hacker, musician, and paranormal. Paranormal is my personal favourite, but it is one of the most difficult career paths in the game. At the end, you have to have 17 friends, and if you've played The Sims recently or still remember, you lose friends very, very quickly in The Sims. And that's it. That's a quick overview of this pack that is so close to my heart. It was one of the favorite ones. I have to admit, it was not the first expansion pack I got because I don't think I really understood it as a child, but once I got it, the possibilities are endless. I've been playing this game for the past couple of days now with just the base game of The Sims and The Sims Living Large, and this is so much fun. Really, try it if you have some time. I personally love the old Sims games and all the old Sims features, and I'll be talking a lot more about it in the future, so hopefully I'll see you then. Bye bye!